As we think about the diversity of school districts across the nation, it is really imperative. We are very well aware of the research around family engagement, and we know that it's critical for families to be able to have the opportunity to be engaged in their children's education. And in doing so, we certainly have an obligation as school districts across the country to offer language access services for families to be able to engage. And this is regardless of their country of origin, this is regardless of the language that they speak. It's important that we are seeking out resources to be able to meet the needs of those families, to be able to overcome this obstacle for engagement in meetings and workshops and everything that's called to the attention of families within a school district. So this guidance from 2015 from the Office of Civil Rights really gave school districts an undergirding of legality in being able to start to really determine how they would build this framework for their language access services. It really gave us some specifics around what had to be provided, and also how those services needed to be manifest within schools. And primarily, it really called on school districts to begin utilizing trained interpreting and translation staff. That we were no longer in a place that we could call a staff member because they were bilingual to provide interpreting services. And it's really important that we very clearly identify the difference between the provision of services that are direct services, what I like to call one-to-one services in a language. When a parent comes in or a parent makes a phone call and is able to speak with someone at the school who is a speaker of their language, that is an amazing connection for families to be able to do that. But then there are also instances in which we have very specific meetings around vital information. And with those meetings, it's imperative that trained interpreting staff are part of that communication to ensure that all of the interpreting standards are upheld and ensure that we are never, as a school or school district, creating a perception of partiality. That is one of the fundamentals around interpreting, is that we are following that code of ethics around interpreting services, and that we are really differentiating bilingual staff versus an interpreter who is providing those impartial, confidential services.